Joined by Jamie Fussell. He is the Director of Labor Relations for the Florida Fruit and Vegetable Association. Welcome, Jamie.
Hey Frank, thanks for having me today.
Great. Well, I wrote my column in our October issue, or let me start over. I wrote my column in my September issue on some of the developments with the H-2A program and the AWR wage rate. And I started the column out with the ruling in Louisiana that the word just came down and the significance of that. And then not long after, I saw USDA announcing that they're moving away from the farm labor survey, which is all tied into this. So I went in and updated the column, and it's almost these things are coming so quickly now. It's kind of hard to keep up with them all, but you're really tied into all of this and know this subject very well. So we wanted to have you just come comment about first, talk about the Louisiana ruling, what it means and its significance back to the H-2A program.
Absolutely. And just for a quick high level start, the AWR is the adverse effect wage rate. It is essentially the minimum wage that H-2A employers must pay. There are other wage types that may be applicable, but by and large, the AWR is what has been the primary wage that's been paid in the H-2A program across the country even. Starting with the Louisiana case, in 2023, the Department of Labor created a new AWR methodology rule. Prior to that, for a long time, there was just a single wage based on USDA's Farm Labor Survey. In 2023, we kept that survey-based wage, but then they also added in OEWS wages. It's a long acronym for a DOL survey to bring in wages based on other job codes. So we started seeing specific wages for truck drivers, for ag mechanics, for shuttle drivers, for bus drivers, and you would have to essentially pay the highest for all of them for your H-2A job order. FFEA and some of our partners sued on that rule at a court in Tampa. Other groups across the country sued in other states, including some grower organizations in Louisiana. Louisiana was the only one to get any sort of preliminary relief last year. It was very narrow, tailored specifically to those growers, but they did get a little bit of a win there. Fast forward, we let me take a step back. Our case in Tampa, we challenged both the 2023 rule and that underlying basis of AWR and the concept of adverse effect. Most other cases focus solely on just the 2023 rule and the OEWS rates. So fast forward to this year, and the Department of Labor essentially agreed to a settlement where they would not oppose the judge entering an order vacating the rule. I think there's been a lot of good advocacy work against the rule since it came out, and it just is part of the administration's recognition that something needs to be fixed here. And so they chose that they went the avenue of the Louisiana case. It already had a good win. There was something that the judge could work with. And effectively, it killed the 2023 AWR methodology rule. As that stands today, that rule is not in effect. We're telling our members that if you have an H-2A job order that's active based on those wages, you should continue paying those. But any new job orders that you're applying for right now going forward, they'll be certified with the current Farm Labor Survey based AWR. So kind of going back to what it was a few years ago, if you have been in the program a few years. And then, yeah, just this morning, there was the official notice in the Federal Register that the USDA has discontinued its Farm Labor Survey. The Farm Labor Survey itself is not the AWR. It's a decades-long survey looking at on-farm labor, including the number of workers and wages. They determined that that survey is duplicative. There's been a big emphasis on efficiency in this administration. And they said there's other surveys that can do what this is doing. We're not required by statute to do this, and it's time we move away from it. So It says as of August, the end of August, that survey is discontinued. What that means, because the Department of Labor does use it for to determine that base A word that we were talking about, DOL currently does not have a means in place to determine an A word. I think that this one will be effective at least through the end of the year. There will be some action or some guidance from DOL, but growers in Florida will continue to pay that 1623 until we know more.
So, any ideas of what this wage will be based on going forward? I guess a lot has to happen now if you're kind of starting from scratch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question. I can't tell you specifically what it's going to be. I will tell you that we've been pushing very hard that it's time for DOL to just kind of pull apart this concept of adverse effect and put it back together. The methods that we have are not sustainable, haven't been sustainable. So I think just these sudden actions that we've seen have been a long time coming and are very encouraging that we're actually going to get something that allows the energy to operate a little more efficiently and sustainably. I don't know what it's going to look like. It could be as simple as just returning to a different type of survey or a different type of inflation metric. Hopefully, it'll be something a bit more comprehensive than that, that really looks at what's going on at the farm level, looks at the big picture of farm income, and considers trade deficit. Just takes the whole picture into effect of what is adverse effect. Even the population of U.S. farm workers. I think there's a lot of ways that the department could go with this that ensures that workers are getting paid fairly, but that also that growers can afford it.
Great. And also, I mean, there have been some other wins here recently on the farm labor front. You want to just touch on those briefly?
Yeah, absolutely. Another win, which started last year, but certainly has continued in this year, was the H-2A rule to offer worker protections to H-2A workers. We challenged on that because of it extended National Labor Relations Act provisions to workers, which Congress did not authorize. So we challenged on that along with several other groups. Our friends in Georgia got the first win out of that, and the rule was blocked in 17 states. There was other stays and injunctions following that one, and effectively this year, the Department of Labor just decided to stop enforcing the rule and formally is moving to formally rescind the rule. We just submitted comments supporting that rescission. They could. There's a few provisions in there that they're retaining, which by and large, I think are mostly a good thing. But we'll probably see a final rule on that in hopefully the coming months. And then there's also an announcement, it's kind of inverse thinking, but they removed guidance that prohibited staggered entry. So if you take all of that out, it makes you think that staggered entry is now allowed in the program. We don't have a lot of guidance on it, but we're looking forward to helping growers navigate one job order with multiple start dates.
Excellent. Well, with that, Jamie, appreciate you as always giving us some expert insights on the labor front, and we'll catch up again with you soon.
Thanks so much, Frank.